Hi everybody, I'm Tim Estiloz with the SPIELOn Entertainment, and I'm here with actor Jason Clarke and director Jo Curran to talk about their new film, Chappaquiddick.
My dad once said to me, tragedy has a way of defining people. Cripples some people till they curl up into a ball. Oh my God, what have I done?
Many generations have known Senator Kennedy as the Lion of the Senate and as someone who's respected and revered for his body of work. Yet, many of these same generations know nothing about Chappaquiddick. Your film has the potential to change that perspective. So why did you feel it was so important to tell this story, to revisit it?
Well, I think it's equally as important to his legacy. Because in a lot of ways it defined him. You know, it took one choice off the table for him, which was to become president. And maybe that was a choice that he wanted to make all along. And I'm a fan of Teddy Kennedy. I'm one of those people that you talked about that admired him. And I do admire him. But I also felt like I had for a long time just blocked out this part of his life, you know? And I think this last election made me really started rethinking that a little bit. You know, when you're asking people on the other side of the aisle to take an unvarnished look at their candidate, I think you have to do the same kind of thing with the people that you admire.
It was an accident. I was driving.
A story like this could dominate the headlines for weeks.
Chief, we got a body.
A dead body holds a lot of secrets. Those can be the difference between guilt and innocence.
I don't think the Republican side of the country has ever forgotten this or forgiven it. And I think they are reasonably educated on the basics of it. I think nobody really has ever understood or bothered to really look deeply at what actually happened and how it happened.
I could have had her out of that car in 25 minutes if I got the call. But no one called.
What was it about this portrayal of Ted Kennedy that resonated with you, this facet of his life?
As an actor, you know, it's a very intimate portrait of a man and his process, which was, you know, another reason and point of the film. This country has a deep connection to the Kennedy name, and that is a valuable thing, gentlemen. And we can't just let that go to waste. We need to remind the American people what this family has been through and how much more we have left to achieve.
And how are you planning on doing that, Ted?
A nationally televised statement. You can, you know, you put a face in a real person to Mary Jo Kopechny. You see that how Ted Kennedy was enabled to get away with it by a much broader community than just his father and the inner workings of the party, but, you know, the whole Democratic machine, and then, you know, the people of Massachusetts, and you could argue the people of America. So it was known. It never went away. I think it's still, you know, it still plays a massive, big part in politics today. We tell the truth, or at least our version of it.
You've been diagnosed with a concussion.
I haven't examined the patient yet.
These theatrics are not going to hold up in a court of law. Get the hell with you guys!
I'm not going to be the one defined by my flaws.
If her family doesn't blame you, why should America?
As I was watching this film, it's clear that you're presenting a narrative that showed that there was a concerted cover-up to change some of the facts in terms of the senator's involvement in the incident. So where did you get some of this information, some of this material?
There's a lot in the inquest. If you go to the transcripts there, which is where the writers drew from primarily. There's also a lot of, there's other books, you know, around that week that we drew from. There's documentaries that have the DA, the special prosecutor, and even the chief of police, all, you know, on the record saying they didn't want to prosecute it. They wanted it to go away. You know, they admit they fumbled it. That back then, you know, they were all Kennedy Democrats, and there wasn't an appetite to prosecute.
We tell the truth, or at least our version of it. And it ends with an appeal to the voters, to the people that elected me. We need to remind them that this family perseveres That we don't back down from a fight, that we don't get backed into a corner. We have a true compass and we follow it.
As I'm watching this film, and even looking back on history, it seems that the one individual who kind of gets lost in this entire narrative is Mary Jo Kopechny, which Kate Mara does an amazing job in this film.
Oh, and you're going to ask, after Bobby was killed, why didn't I run in his place? What would you have done? I know if you were me and he was your brother, what would you have done?
I'd quit, leave Washington, never look back. Which is exactly what I did. But I'm not you. He wasn't my brother.
We see the story of Chappaquiddick, we know the name, we know how people were trying to do damage control on the senator's career. What was it, as you both were approaching this film, in terms of trying to flesh out Mary Jo Kopechny beyond just the one photograph that we've seen?
Well, for one thing, is to give her, you know, the intelligence and career and ambitions that she obviously had. You know, she was all those women were highly educated, intelligent, ambitious. You know, worked for Bobby's campaign and then beyond. All had amazing careers in their own right. But Mary Jo, by all accounts, was very grounded and earthy and quiet-spoken, very religious. And there's just aspects of her that you can learn from the different ways she's been written about by people in her family and relatives and whatnot. And I didn't want her to be what people sometimes have in their heads, like a floozy, young, sexy secretary or something like that, you know. And Kate, when I met Kate, she just embodied the qualities of the Mary Jo that I had in my head.
We named you girls the Boiler Room Girls. I like to think we called you that because working on Bobby's campaign, you had such a fire in your bellies, wanting to live up to the name on that ticket, wanting to prove yourselves worthy of it.
Very quickly, how do you think audiences will react to this in terms of their perception of Senator Kennedy, of recent history, and the Senator Kennedy of 1969?
It'll give them a lot to think about. I really do. I hope they think about it. I hope they go and read up about it. Teddy's, you know, Senator Kennedy's legislative history is there. It's not going to change. It's done mountains of good. Civil rights, healthcare, the lot. He was there on it for a long time. This is a serious blot, and it shouldn't be just put away in the closet. It should have something to say, and it does.
But also, you know, it's been 10 years, and I think there's a lot of people of, particularly a younger generation, that aren't even aware of Teddy Kennedy at all, probably, you know? And I think that we're doing it right now. We're talking about a very tragic, dark chapter in his life, but we're also talking about what he accomplished. So in a way, I think it's going to be a complicated portrait, but it'll be ultimately, it starts a discussion about the complete portraits.
Well, it's a fascinating film. I enjoyed it very much, and congratulations on it.
Thank
We've been talking with actor Jason Clarke and director John Curran about their new film, Chappaquiddick, opening in theaters on April 6th. For the SPIELOn Entertainment, I'm Tim Estiloz.
This family perseveres. We have a true compass and we follow it.
5, 4, 3.
Moses had a temper. Peter betrayed Jesus. I have Chappaquiddick.
Moses had a temper, but he never left a girl at the bottom of the Red Sea.
Thank you guys so much for checking out the show. If you guys could do us a huge favor, go like and subscribe on YouTube. Check out the other videos. They're going to be great. It's going to be great. It's good. It's great. It's great. What the frick are you guys still doing here? Go subscribe. Sorry, I yelled. I didn't.